from Switzerland, from the computer lab of Geneva University, and I'm completely digital, from top to toe, just bits and bytes. Oops, here I am again. Come and let's take a look into the future of television, because television goes digital. Let me show you.
Chips and microprocessors of the new generation have made a long-standing dream of television pioneers come true. They transform moving pictures into the computer code of zeros and ones, and convert it back again into moving pictures for the viewer. This way, television channels are opening up to allow the transmission of new additional services. Up to now, television has functioned like this. The transmitted signal directs an electron beam line by line over the screen in the receiver's picture tube. The transmitter and millions of receivers work on the same cycle of changing frames and lines. Only one television program can thus be transmitted on each channel. For digital television, the signals are packed for the receiver into so-called containers as standardized data packets. Almost 40 megabits of information per second fit into each container. That, for example, corresponds to 6 television programs, plus 5 radio programs, plus 5 other services such as information programs, television games, or television newspapers. The revolution is based on the fact that, perhaps for the first time in television history, transmission facilities are cheaply available and in abundance. This is more than a technical innovation. This is the first step into a new era, where television at home can become a connection to the information highway of the future for every participant. And this is the end of television as a one-way street. In future, spectators will be able to take part in the interactive services by telephone, cable, or satellite.
Everywhere in Europe, specialists are working on digital television. They want to learn from the experience of the past. When color television came up and later on video recorders appeared, different technical standards existed at the same time, a fact which is still creating trouble for us. But now, digital television shall be introduced in Europe with one single common system, DVB. A great idea.
The DVB project started in September 1993, when 84 organizations from across Europe reached consensus on systems that will be used for digital TV broadcasting in the years ahead. These systems need to be both practical today and future-proof for tomorrow. The DVB project coordinates the standards of digital television services for cable and satellite transmission, as well as terrestrial broadcasting, which includes a coding system for data streams and service information for the user. The benefits of joint standards are obvious. They provide safe planning and equal starting conditions at a stage where high investments are not yet compensated for by corresponding profits. The DVB trademark guarantees that all DVB equipment will be compatible. With this joint initiative, Europe is ensuring a good starting position with respect to its overseas competitors. Will the quality label DVB be an export hit? This is already the case. It's surprising to see that the Americans and Japanese are catching up. It's even more surprising that the first commercial applications will probably be taking place in Asia and not in Europe, but on the basis of the work of this group here. Under the management of an international governing body, the DVB project made rapid progress. Just 2 months after their foundation, they agreed on a standard for satellite transmission, the DVB-S. At almost the same time, a digital cable standard was developed, DVB-C, followed by a teletext system, a system for program information, and a standard for collective antenna installations. These standards were set as a norm by the European Standardization Commission, the ETSI. Meanwhile, about 170 organizations from 18 European countries participate in the DVB project. Among them were many who, later on, will be competitors in the marketplace.
No individual broadcaster or service provider can possibly fund a large development like this. And yet, if you can get the infrastructure, that is to say the technology developed and the systems for implementation, then of course everybody can benefit.
You have to aim at the global market of Europe. And that's the reason why it is really important to have a common approach between broadcasters, regulators, manufacturers, and that's what DVB makes now.
But there are still major tasks to be completed. A joint coding system has to be found, which allows pay programs to be protected against unauthorized persons and television pirates. The standard for terrestrial transmission still has to be finalized, since digital television will be available not only by cable and satellite, but also by television antenna.
It seems to be the case, then the report is approved.
Of course you're anxious to know how such a digital image is created. Look at me. I've been put together in the computer with lots of components, starting with the skeleton, then the soft parts, followed by hair, dress, and finally colour. Every individual image of me contains millions of binary information units called bits. Digital television works quite similar, as you can see.
Digital television pictures consist of more than 400,000 tiny picture elements, called pixels, to which values for brightness, color, and color saturation are assigned. If this picture information is translated into binary computer code, a data rate of approximately 200 million bits per second results. In order to cope with such huge data streams, a trick is used. Data reduction is based on the fact that there are many elements in the picture which the eye cannot perceive, but which up to now have always been transmitted. These things now are omitted. It's called the picture irrelevance which is being omitted. The internationally agreed data reduction standard, MPEG-2, forms the basis of the DVB standard. MPEG-2 takes the raw data stream and compresses it into a manageable size for transmission before reconverting it into a complete signal at the receiver. For a normal television picture, it's possible to give large areas of the picture simple commands, like turn all these pixels dark blue. This requires only a fraction of the transmission capacity. The rest is available for precise transmission of complex picture sections. The system does all these things on its own. Tests show that despite the high compression, variance from the original is very low. Less bits are transmitted, but with high security. The system is resistant to disturbances. The broadcaster can choose whether he wants to transmit the programs in studio quality, which means a broad data stream 9 megabits per second, in PAL quality with 6 megabits, or with even less bits in home video quality. Compression of digital data streams means that one television satellite that previously carried 18 analog channels can now carry up to 120 different digital television cues.
120 TV programs. Nobody's able to watch so many channels, you might say. But listen, digital television is much more than only watching TV. Well, let's have a look into the future.
Tomorrow's viewer will be like his own program director in a media landscape which is still impossible to imagine. As a guideline, the DVB system provides for a service and information program simultaneously. It's designed to make it easy for the consumer. We call it an electronic program guide. This guide is supposed to replace the television program magazine to a large extent, so that you can turn on the television and the television set itself helps you to find your program. Television stations and media organizations are preparing new attractive programs which deliberately address target groups. Channels showing only animated films, documentaries or classical music 24 hours a day, health advisors, children's channels.
Is this for children's
Everything is possible. We're talking about services to which you can subscribe monthly, or where you pay for each program which you actually watch. The bill is either mailed to you or it's debited from your account, just as with a credit card. Even small target groups have a good chance of having their own program, because if programs are broadcast all over Europe, then the audience is of significant size. Such specialized programming is also significant for the advertising industry. Customers can be specifically targeted with products. Combined with pay TV channels, advertising could be the catalyst for the introduction of digital television. A foretaste could soon be on the way: teleshopping. With a remote control, the customers could sort through the offers at home. They could select items and could order just by pressing a button. The set-top box does the rest. Everything automatically. Fancy a pizza? Interactive television will be able to do this for you as well. Ingredients, size, the right drink, a click on the screen, and half an hour later it arrives at your door. Television can be completely interactive, where individually switchable connections are available, such as fiber optic networks. Television services like video on demand deliver to your home the movies you want. This will only take minutes and cost the same as a cinema ticket.
3-2 und Spiel ab.
Participants in different European countries will be able to play interactive games with each other on their television screens at home. New teaching methods are on the way, such as tele-teaching, where the participants at home are in direct contact with their tele-teacher and can directly and individually control their learning progress. In future, digital data streams will combine television, computer and telephone into a multimedia network in which the viewer, as program manager, will determine himself which of the many applications he wants to use and when.
Now, if you also want to get onto the information highway, you can keep your old television set. For the time being, the only thing you need is a small additional unit, the set-top box, your port to digital television. Of course, this is only possible where the information highway has already been built.
In Berlin are several dozen participants who are experiencing the facilities of digital television. The smart card is their key to the digital network. At the moment, the experiment is free of charge. At a later stage, settlement of commercial pay services will also be carried out here with a smart card, as will be customary in other European areas. During 1995, a number of digital pilot projects are being launched. Today, digital television broadcasting is already possible wherever wideband cable networks are to be found. Space is available in the, at present, unutilized hyperband. With Hotbird and Astra 1E, the first digital European television satellites, digital television will also be available by satellite. The programs are fed into cable networks or can be directly received by means of an updated 60-centimeter dish. Even if you don't want to invest a lot, you can take advantage of the television of the future. All you need is a cable connection and a set-top box, which makes digital signals digestible for your analog television. Digital terminal equipment, set-top boxes, video recorders and satellite dishes will soon be generally available. Television companies are also getting ready for the new era. Digital editing systems, OB vans, virtual studios where the studio sets are computer-generated and only the presenter is real. The future belongs to digital technology. And DVB provides you the television of the future today.
Alles weg.
That's all for now about DVB. Have fun with the television of the future.